Hey guys, I'm sitting here in the Xpeng G6. It's kind of fitting that I'm in a Chinese electric car here in the Alpine area in Victoria, about to hike up one of the highest mountains in Victoria with my boys, Jack and Cal. You know, they're 8 and 11. They're having a great time. They're really, really excited. Hey guys, we just started our trip to Melbourne to go to the Seat Engineering Systems Engineering Conference. That's on tomorrow. We're going to be talking about Tony Seba and the future of the planet. So anyway, we're in the car and we've got it on XNGP, which is it's Xpeng's version of autopilot. It's actually quite good. So watch this. I'll drive hands free, going around a bit of a corner, car's turning, and I think soon it'll prompt me to put my hands back on the car. Right now, no feet, no hands, driving on the freeway. We're doing about 120, right next to the car. It is a little bit scary. It's turning the car. It says, please put your hands lightly on the steering wheel. But as you can see, it's still driving without me putting my hands on. So I wonder how long it'll take before it forces me. It's staying on. Okay. It's pretty cool. Look, going around this corner. Show the front, Dickie. Show the front. Okay, now it's slowed down a little bit for the corner, but not much. Just by one. Right, it's beeping to say put my hands back on the steering wheel. Okay. And I've just we've gone for a bike ride, come back, seen that the CEO of Stellantis, he is about to be fired. They are publicly looking for a successor. His contract doesn't run out until mid 2026, which is 2 years away. But if you publicly announce you're looking for a successor 2 years prior, it means that CEO is on the way out. Carlos Tavares he's essentially driven the company into the ground because Stellantis essentially their profits have gone down by 47% over the past 6 months because the company has looked for short-term gain. I mentioned this on the channel. I know many of you have said this as well. Last year, I said this many times. They're constantly looking for short-term gains, not thinking about long-term profitability, trying to appease shareholders by looking for short-term gains, and then that won't play out long-term. So Stellantis made record profits last year for this exact reason, right? It wasn't long-term, it was short-term, short-term. What happens? Profits crash this year, 47%. US dealers have openly criticized the CEO, signed public letters, trying to say that Stellantis is not interested in negotiating with him and that he's driving the brands Jeep, Chrysler, Dodge, Ram, driving them into the ground, not investing in them enough, not taking things seriously. And to be fair, think about it, right? The only company without a good plug-in hybrid, a good electric pickup truck is the Stellantis group. What do they got? Americans, what do they buy? Think about that, right? What's the fastest growing sales vehicle for Tesla right now? The Cybertruck. I mean, it's huge, that market. So, I mean, that's just one of the many reasons why the company is failing. And the fact that there's a public revolt here between Stellantis and dealers, and this is played out in the open field now for months. Stellantis is criticizing dealers, saying they shouldn't be airing dirty laundry, saying, what are you guys doing? Talking about this in public and criticizing its dealers in public. So I don't really understand that. It's like saying, you shouldn't be doing this, but I'm going to do it too. It's extremely hypocritical that the CEO of Stellantis is publicly criticizing his own dealerships who are struggling. Many of them are going bankrupt. He's criticizing people losing their livelihoods for being desperate. He's basically put them in this position and he's criticizing them. I mean, this to me is the marker of someone who is insane. Now, I received an email last week, a few emails in fact, saying my criticisms of Carlos Tavares are unfounded. He's an excellent CEO. I would encourage people who believe that to provide me with some evidence of why they think that. He contradicts himself on a constant basis. Guys, I'm going to put together a video showing you the contradictory statements he has made almost month by month by month. Now, I've been told that I shouldn't criticize people who are bipolar, but that is the sign of bipolar. And, you know, someone who is like that, do you want them to be your CEO, planning your long-term future of a multi-billion dollar company? Well, will they be a multi-billion dollar company in the future, considering what's happening in not just the US, but also China. How did Stellantis kind of reach this position last year? Well, one of the things Carlos Tavares did, he focused on China. So years ago, he was able to help revive the group's profits and sales by focusing on China. But now you can see their sales profits have collapsed in China and are in the process of collapsing in the United States. And really, that's two of their three markets. What are their markets? Primary markets: Europe, China, the US. If they lose enormous market share in China, they're going to, I think, likely be gone from China soon. Then they also lose massive market share in the US. What do they do then? Now, the Italian government is calling on Stellantis. They're saying, you owe us money. I'm not joking. They've said this a number of times. It's like the Italian government is saying to Stellantis publicly, pay us back the $400 million we gave you to build a battery factory in Italy because we gave it to you years ago and you've done nothing. Stellantis have said nothing. It's like, what do you don't want to pay it back. You don't want to build the factory. I mean, what kind of leadership is that? I think that's truly bizarre. Guys, honestly, here's the situation. They're in a crisis, and really this is going to happen to all of Legacy Auto. We're seeing the Volkswagen Group saying that they're in a crisis, publicly acknowledging it. Very different to Stellantis, who are basically in denial. But the Volkswagen Group are acknowledging it. Japanese automakers are not acknowledging it. The truth is here, Toyota sales have declined now for 7 straight months. Legacy Auto is in a crisis because the automotive industry is a zero-sum game. But it's worse than a zero-sum game. And the reason is because the automotive industry is shrinking. The car market is not going to grow. Within the next few years, autonomous vehicles won't mean everyone's driving one, but a huge percentage of people will. A huge percentage of people in cities want to get autonomous taxis. Uber will be replaced with that. It'll grow significantly. The fares will be far, far, far cheaper. What's the most expensive thing when you get a taxi ride? When someone picks you up, it's the driver, right? That's 80% of the cost. Get rid of that. What happens? We're on the verge of that happening. So the automotive industry will shrink. The automotive industry is shrinking. Zero-sum game. Then you've got these massive conglomerates in China. Geely, BYD. You've got Zeekr. You've got NIO, XPeng. You've got many Leapmotor. You've got many car brands emerging in China. And they're all willing to sell at a loss. They don't care. They're willing to make amazing products. I'm sitting in this XPeng G6 right now. It's an amazing product. I can tell you that. I've just driven 1,600 kilometers. It'll be, probably 3,000 by the time I get home. And I'm telling you now, this is a phenomenal car. That's what Stellantis have to compete with. Automakers like XPeng, automakers like BYD, who are like, you know what? We've got a better product and we're going to sell it at a much lower price than you, Stellantis. What do you do then? Automotive industry shrinks. Your competition has better products than you, selling them at a lower price, and you're screwed.